Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a full face first impressions using all drugstore makeup. Some of this makeup is new to the drugstore. Some of it is just new to me. You know, it's been out at the drugstore. So I just have a whole lot of stuff spread out on my desk here from the drugstore. So I'm just going to, do a full face with this makeup and see what I come up with. So I've started out with my brows already done. And I'm going to start with the eyes first. So I'm just going to show you really quickly what I picked up from the drugstore as far as eyeshadow palettes go. I picked up 3 of the Maybelline, the City Mini palettes. So I picked up this one, and this one. So I picked up all 3 of these, as well as the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. Now I know this palette is not new at all. It's just always out of stock. So when I saw it in stock, I went ahead and picked it up. Then I picked up one of the eyeshadow quads from LA Girl. As well as an eyeshadow palette from Sleek. Now, Sleek is not a new brand, but Sleek is new to Ulta. So I ordered this off of Ulta's website. So yeah, these are all the palettes that I'm going to be playing with today. I know out of all these palettes, I should be able to come up with something. Oh, and I wanted to try a NYX pigment. NYX came out with some pigments, so I only picked up one because I really didn't know how I would like them. So I picked up the pigment in Peacock. So needless to say, whatever we do, Peacock is going to go on the lid. So yeah, I'm just going to start on my face, and I really don't have a new eyeshadow primer from the drugstore, so I'm just going to use my LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn. Alright guys, so I'm just starting off priming my eyes with my LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn. And then I'm going to go into one of the new Maybelline palettes, the City Mini palette, and this palette is called Downtown Sunrise. And I'm going to use that cream shade to set my concealer in place. Alright, next I'm going into the NYX Ultimate Brights palette. I'm going to take that burnt orange right there in the upper corner, and that's what I'm going to use as my transition color today. This is a really nice palette, and the colors blend out really nicely, and they're really nicely pigmented. But drugstore palettes are getting really expensive. Like this palette was $17, and I think I paid like $17.50 for my Juvia's Place palette. So yeah, the drugstore is getting really expensive. Alright, so after that I'm going to go back into that Maybelline palette in Downtown Sunrise. I'm going to take that chocolate brown right there, and I'm just going to pop this all in the crease. And I was really surprised at how nicely these shadows blended and how nice this palette is, because the Maybelline Nudes palette, those palettes are pretty much garbage, and I was kind of nervous getting 3 palettes because these palettes were $9.99 a piece, but I really do like the quality of these palettes. Even though I only use a few shades out of one palette, I mean, what I used so far, I really do like. Alright, next I'm going into my Sleek palette. I'm going to be using that matte black shade. This is kind of like an all shimmer palette. The only matte shade in this palette is that black. So I'm going to use that matte black shade, and I'm going to pop this all on the outer V, and I'm going to bring it into the crease. Alright, next I'm going to use that same concealer that I used to prime my lids. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm going to go back in with that orange and I'm just going to blend out those harsh edges. And now I'm going to go back in with that LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn, and I'm going to use that to cut the crease. Now this cut crease, the one on this eye, turned out really nicely, but when I went to cut the crease on the other eye, I cut the crease way too high. So I tried to go back and adjust it on this eye, and it just looked way too high on this eye. So I just blended it all in together and just, you know, I just didn't do a cut crease. Because I liked how I cut the crease on one eye, but I didn't like how I cut it on the other eye. So yeah, it still kind of looks like a cut crease, but this eyeshadow look is not a cut crease. I mean, I intended it to be a cut crease, but it didn't turn out that way. Alright, next up, going back into that same palette, I'm going to use that same shade that I used to set my concealer. I'm going to use this to set the concealer on the cut crease. And now just going back into that sleek palette, I'm going to take that really pretty teal shade and I'm going to place this all over my lid. So you can see right here where I went back to I tried to take this crease up a little higher like I had did the other one, but I didn't like how it looked. I didn't like how far up they were, so I just decided to go ahead and just blend it all in. Alright, next up I'm going to take my NYX pigment in the shade Peacock, and I'm going to place that right on top of that teal shadow that I just put down. And these pigments are really nice. I didn't have any fallout. I wet my brush. I didn't have to put down any kind of glitter glue or anything like that. And I had very little fallout. So I really do like these pigments. I'm going to order more. Alright, next up, going in with my L'Oreal The Super Slim Liner in black. I'm just going to use this to line my top lash line and give myself a wing. Now, I really didn't like this liner. This liner is really not new to me. I had this in my drawer already. So I think it kind of dried out a bit because I don't remember it being this dry. But yeah, I didn't like it because it was super dry. And I think I could have made my wing a little thicker as well, since I went up so high with the cut crease. Alright, next I'm going to be using the new L'Oreal Voluminous Natural Plump, the L'Oreal Paradise Mascara in Blackest Black. And this is supposed to be a dupe for the Too Faced. Alright guys, so after I'm finally finished with the eyes for now, after I totally messed up my cut crease, like I cut one of them like I wanted, then I cut the other one up way too high, so I was just like, forget it. I just blended everything in together, and I really like how the eye turned out. So I'm going to be starting on my face. So I have a new primer, a new color corrector, a new foundation, and a new concealer. So the primer that I'm going to be using is the E.L.F. Beautifully Bare Luminous Matte Primer. Going to be using the Heart Candy color corrector. For my foundation, I'm going to be using the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir foundation, and I have mine in the shade Soft Sable. And for my concealer, we're going to be trying out the new L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Concealer. So I got this little compact here, but I'm pretty much, this doesn't look like cocoa to me. This is how it looks, if you can see. This side right here comes with a highlighter and this one a powder, but this powder is really not dark and this is cocoa. So I don't really know if I'm going to use this in today's tutorial. I'm really not sure. I'll try to fit it in, but I'm going to be using 2 of the new Maybelline Fit Me Loose finishing powders, and I got 2 shades because I got dark to set my entire face, and then I got medium deep, which is this shade right here, to set underneath my eyes. So these are the 2 shades that I got. So yeah, let's just get on to applying my face. Alright guys, so moving on to the face, I'm going to be using this primer from the E.L.F. Beautifully Bare collection, and this is their Luminous Matte Makeup Primer. And this primer is really moisturizing, although it didn't mattify my skin at all, which, I mean, I'm really not worried about because I didn't want it to. But it feels really good on the skin. I really like this primer so far. Next up, I'm going to be going in with the Hard Candy Color Corrector Expert Cream in orange, and I really love the applicator on this. It has like the little brush tip instead of the little sponge tip, so I really do like that. And I think that this color corrector has a really nice coverage, so I'm just going to take a brush and blend that out. As you can see, it has really nice coverage, and it was only $6. Alright guys, and next up for foundation, I'm going to be using the new Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir Foundation. And it comes with a pump, as you can see it was locked. And I got mine in the shade Soft Sable. So it says, finally, a hydrating formula for beautiful, buildable coverage that glides on smoothly for a flawless look. This special antioxidant and vitamin complex plus SPF 20 work together to make your skin look healthy all day. And I'm going to be using this really big Real Techniques body sponge. I really like this sponge because, you know, it helps you get the job done really quickly. And then I'm just going to blend the other side with a brush, just like I would do in any foundation review, just to show you guys how it applies with both the sponge and the brush. The benefits of this foundation, it says it gives your skin a luminous glow, available in multiple shades from light to deep, oil-free, minimizes the appearance of oily shine, and is a lightweight formula. So I think it's supposed to be like a medium to buildable coverage. I mean, it looks like a pretty full coverage foundation to me. So, and I really like it. I like how it looks on the skin, even though it is a little dark, but I really like how it looks on the skin. Makes me look like I have a healthy bronze glow. And I did wear it all day. It is long wearing. Although I'm not too impressed with the shade range, I think I got the deepest shade. So yeah, there's not a huge shade range for women of color. Alright guys, next up I'm going to be using the new L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow Concealer. And I got mine in the shade Cream Café, which is next to the deepest shade, which is Cocoa. So I think I'll get Cocoa and just mix these two. But I really do like the concealer. It's really not all that glowy. However, if you like a full coverage concealer, then this is not going to be the concealer for you, because this concealer is lightweight. I'm sorry, I said lightweight. It is lightweight, but it is light coverage. It's not going to give you full coverage. You can probably build on it if you go in with maybe like 2 coats. I should have done that, but I didn't build on it. I just put 1 coat, but it isn't full coverage at all. But it is a really nice concealer. It blends out really nicely, but if you're a full coverage girl, then you may want to go for something like the Wet n Wild concealer, or maybe one of the Maybelline concealers. Alright, next up I'm going to be using the new Maybelline Fit Me powder. This one is in the shade Medium Deep. So this is where my look went south. I liked everything up until I set my concealer with this powder. I guess it is a finishing powder, but it seems like it just, when I put it on, it just stuck to my face. It wouldn't blend out. Nothing would blend correctly on top of it. Like, it was horrible. I had to go off camera and do like some hardcore blending to blend this powder out. You guys will see. Alright, next up I'm going to be using the new Pixi Strobe and Chisel palette. I really do like this palette. I'm going to use the two deeper shades. You see, one is warm and one is cool. I'm just going to mix both and I'm going to contour my face, chisel out my cheeks, and you know, my forehead, everywhere you contour. So as you can see now, as I'm applying the contour color, how it's applying like when I put it over top of the powder. This powder is horrible for setting. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with the Maybelline Fit Me powder in Deep, and now as you can see, I'm trying to blend this powder out, and I am blending. This powder is not budging. So I mean, like I said, it will probably be nice if the deep powder works really good. So it's really nice to set your entire face. I set my entire face with the dark, but as far as baking with it, no, I would not recommend baking with this powder. It took me so long to get this blended out, and even after I did, still wasn't even blended how I wanted it to be. So after a while, I'm just kind of sitting here like, okay, what am I going to do to fix this? So I just went off camera and I just, you know, blended more, and yeah. Alright, next up, moving back to the eyes, I'm going to be using my Jordana eyeliner in Tantalizing Teal. And this is what I'm going to be using to align my bottom lash line today. And then for the rest of the bottom lash line, I'm going to go back into that palette and take that deep teal shade out of that palette, and I'm just going to go right underneath that. Then we're going to go back into my Sleek palette, and I'm going to take that black shade, just because I wanted to make it a bit smoky. So yeah. Alright, next up I'm just going in with a pencil brush, and I'm just blending all of that out. Alright, next up I picked up two blushes, one from Black Radiance and one from Maybelline. I wanted a kind of subtle blush, so I went with the one that I picked up from Maybelline in Wine. This one I'm going to use for my blush today. And then I picked up two highlighters also, one by Black Radiance and the other one is the Maybelline Master Chrome metallic highlighter in Molten Gold. I think this is the only shade that they have, and this is a gorgeous highlighter. Alright, and next up, I picked up three different lippy options. I picked up the new Maybelline glosses, this Maybelline Super Stay, I think it's the matte ink or something like that. And I know I'm a little late on the bandwagon, but the Wet n Wild Catsuit lipstick. So I decided to go with the Wet n Wild with the Maybelline Gloss and Charm. So I'm going to use my trusty Shea Moisture lip liner in dark. And then I'm going to go ahead and apply the Wet n Wild Catsuit lipstick in Give Me Mocha. This is a really pretty color. And then I'm just going to go on top of that with my Maybelline Vivid, my Maybelline Color Sensational Vivid Lip Gloss in Charmer. Now I'm just going to spray my face with the new E.L.F. Illuminating Mist and Set Spray. And oh my gosh, so much spray comes out of this thing. Alright, and that completes the look. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from me. And don't forget that my channel reaches 5,000 subscribers, I will be having my next big giveaway. Until the next video.